Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to A Journey in Boots, Trauma to Triumph. Today, Dr. J is actually on location in the American Unity Ride. And so I'm just going to turn this over to Dr. J because if the pre-show is anything like the rest of the show, you guys will be amazed at what's coming to you. So Dr. J, I'm just going to turn it over to you.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. J. Royster. I'm the CEO of Semper Modus, which is basically, see, we are live.
We are live.
We are at the Mulberry Memorial Post 72. You can see it up here, right? And I'm sitting outside with one of our auxiliary, which is a veteran wife, a wife of a veteran. And what they did is they have spent the last 4 days riding to raise money for Project Vet Relief. And Dorothy, if you would put that banner up, because they are really looking for donations. What this does is this gives money to veterans. It also creates a space where the strategic partners can get funds to serve the veterans in the best way that they are. We are all strategic partners that are stationed at different posts. That's why I'm in Mulberry today. Mr. Norman is in Tampa, and Canine Lines and some of the other organizations were at different that are a little closer to their organization. And we have basically shared why they're raising money and what we do for those veterans that are in need. So I am today introducing Mrs. Erin Leitner, and she is here to tell her story. And she is one of the Unity Riders. She did this last year as well. They travel all over, and she's going to share and tell you all about it. Hi, Miss Erin.
Hi.
How you doing, honey?
Good.
So tell us what you do and why you do it.
So, Project Vet Relief is an American Legion program that raises money for 16 different organizations for veterans and their families, not only with resources for mental health, but as well as financial help as well for veterans that are having issues with not being able to find work, not being able to find the resource that they need. We are here. We have 3 routes currently in transit to Clearwater, Tampa for Friday. There's a western route going down the west side of Florida. There's a central route going down the middle of Florida. And I'm on the eastern route that started in Fernandina Beach, Jacksonville area. And we are now in Mulberry on day 4. And we have visited over 25 posts on our stop, up to 8 to 9 visits per day. At least 8 hours, 8 to 11 hours on the road every single day riding our bikes for our vets.
What happens on Saturday? It's okay. Take a second.
Saturday is our in-state unity rally. Our goal is 350,000 plus yearly to our vets. We are currently at the end of day 3 at $198,000. We still have to meet our quota. There is still donations needed. There is never enough funding to help all the veterans that are needed. So any help towards any veteran is worth the cause. Sorry.
Okay. That's a long ride today. I get it.
Yes. So we left the eastern route of Florida at 8 o'clock this morning and have made our way across the state to Mulberry. We will get up tomorrow morning at 8 and make our way to Clearwater, Florida, where all 3 routes will come together at one hotel. To Saturday, we line up at 10 a.m. at a Walmart parking lot. We will all come together, all 3 routes, and we will be escorted in by the sheriff's office into Orange County Choppers and Barracuda Hardley, where more of the checks will be presented for funding for the cause, as well as raising money actively during it for the cause. We do vendors, we do food. It is free, it is open to the public. Anybody can join. We welcome everybody to come out that is able to come out to join us in Clearwater.
And that's the OCC Roadhouse
OCC Roadhouse and Barracuda Harley, right in between.
in Clearwater, Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
And we were escorted in by the cops. And there is a horse that will lead the motorcycles from turning in carrying a flag.
Yeah, guess who that is? Spirit
Eric?
Therapy, Mr. Eric. Yes, ma'am.
And he welcomes us, waving the American flag as we all ride in with our jackets or our leathers.
Yep.
Um,
See, she's got it on. I love this. Before you ask, the answer's no. And then 2024 In-State Unity Ride, Day East Coast Route, 1,138 miles they did yesterday.
No, this was last year.
Yesterday. See me?
And this does not count us driving home from Tampa to Jacksonville, which is another 400, 300 miles away from us.
Wow. That's incredible. Wow. You must be exhausted by the end of the week.
Somehow I am. But then there's, as we go through certain districts, there's a set number of people that choose to ride all 5 days in a row. As we come through Florida in the different districts, some of the riders from those districts will join us just for the day, do that route with us during the day, and when we hit the last stop, they will choose to go home to where we started, or join us mid-ride, or lead us to the next Legion. It's probably the most.
It's okay.
The cause comes so close to my heart because I almost lost my husband.
And he is riding as well. And if it wasn't for her, he would not be riding. So I had the opportunity to meet him a little while ago when I introduced myself to all the riders. And their stories are pretty powerful. I met a few of them and they shared, what helps them through. And some people riding is what clears their head, what gets them out of their head,
Right.
and helps them get back to center. And that's pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, we never want to help ourselves. We want to help our brothers and sisters. It's like, no, help him first. We were just talking about this, Aaron and I were. So
Right.
we always want to help the next guy. The next guy's more important. Like, that's what we do. We serve first and take care of ourselves later. And we're finding more and more that sometimes taking care of ourselves is too late. We're definitely an avoidant species for sure. So
I just want to clear up one thing if somebody's just turning in now. So what we're talking about is they're writing for veterans that or first responders that have served and that are maybe struggling with PTSD or some kind of we all know that, or maybe you don't know, but if you have not been around my channel, then you wouldn't know that 22 veterans a day die by suicide. And so that is why this is important to get, and Project Vet Relief helps a lot of different veteran organizations and veterans themselves to get the help that they need so that we can get that number to zero. And so that's why Erin is here, sharing her story about her husband, and some of the impact that Project Vet Relief has had, and some of the things that she has witnessed as a spouse of a veteran.
Oh, also real quick, she's famous. She was in Orlando yesterday at headquarters when they decided out of all of the people that they interviewed for the news, she made it. So we're going to have her share a little bit, well, actually a lot more than what she was able to share, because they did a 15-minute interview and she got a whopping 27 seconds. So I wanted to give her a platform where she could share the whole picture.
Right. And that's important. So back to you, Erin.
Big deep breath.
So my husband, Mike, was active duty in New Haven, Connecticut, while I was here in Florida. We had only recently started dating, maybe 4 months in, but he was different. He has been my shining light. He has been by my side for everything that I have pulled myself out of, and has been nothing but supportive. When I got a phone call one night from a sister letting me know that he had been drinking and that he had drank over a bottle of liquor and got in his truck and tried to drive head on into a concrete piling bridge. The cops were notified up in Connecticut. He was found. They took him to the hospital and he was admitted for Baker Act, and he stayed longer for the treatment because he knew and realized at that point, after he sobered up, that he needed that treatment.
Mhm.
He never really thought about seeking treatment for it. They only saw that he only felt his only way out was taking his life. As soon as I found out that they were able to find him, I jumped in my car from Jacksonville, Florida, and drove 1,300 miles in 15 hours straight to New Haven, Connecticut, and had to go to 5 different hospitals to figure out where he was. And even though I could not see him for 5 days, the only part I saw of him out of the entire 5 days that I wasn't up there taking care of his apartment, locating his truck, taking care of anything else that was needed, bringing him clothes. I saw him for a total of 5 minutes for those 5 days I was up there to drop off his clothes and see him wave at me out the window from the psych unit. As right before I drove another 1,300 miles home and 15 hours straight through again. As hard as it is, I'd do it again any day in a heartbeat.
Mhm.
He retired last year. He did his 21 years of service in the Coast Guard. And we fought for everything that he has earned. Because the military didn't feel like he was just a number. He wasn't treated like a human. He was being treated as a number. So the fact that he chose to stay longer in treatment to get that help, meaning he wanted to change. And I think a lot of veterans don't realize that and realize it too late. It's okay to not be okay.
Mhm.
Ooh,
After retirement, he too made 2 other suicide attempts here in Florida. I was lucky enough to be home at the time to intervene for both of those attempts as well. And as much as he tried to push me away, I would not leave his side. I said, I don't care if you don't talk to me. Call a friend. Call one of the people that you served with. Talk to
Mhm.
them, but I'm not leaving your side. The support from family, friends, the American Legion has become family. To us, there's no stranger. We accept everybody. The camaraderie is stronger than anything I've ever met in my life. And we all ride for the same cause for the same reason. We don't ride for money. We don't ride to be something to be recognized. We ride for the cause. And unfortunately, I always get bad names because of motorcycle MCs. So people don't have the respect for the American Legion if they don't know what it is. So Project Vet Relief is huge among us at the American Legion, but people need to understand that this may affect a family member of yours, and Project Vet Relief, of their 16 organizations that they help, can help that family member if you can't.
Mhm.
There's resources.
Yeah.
It's okay to not feel like you don't mean anything, because there's always somebody there who has your back.
Absolutely.
So I just have a question. I don't know if you can answer, Dr. J, or maybe Aaron can. So with Project Vet Relief, do they help the spouses of the veterans as well?
Mhm.
Or is that just the veteran themselves that they help?
There is resources for families as well.
Okay.
It depends on which cause it is. I know one of the 16 charities um, is Mothers of Suicide Prevention, and they have an RV that drives all over
Mhm.
the state and the country to support mothers of suicide, of
And,
veteran suicide,
and fathers. They've
and fathers.
included, yeah.
And once they are made in contact with this group, because they met us at one of our legions on the stops, they put that fallen soldier's name and a butterfly on their RV that drives all over the country. And they are there to support the families, the mothers, the sisters, the children. They will fill in as far as Christmas gifts, birthday presents. They will do anything to help out any family member that has lost somebody to suicide, to also help prevent it.
Wow. So how long have you and your husband been doing the ride?
So this is my second year. It is his third year. He did the first year. Um, Shortly, no, he was still active duty. He came down and was able to participate in the ride with his uncle, who's also a Legion rider, back in Jacksonville, and they rode the entire ride together. And I told him that we needed a new bike because I wanted to do next year. So we traded it in to the bike we have now.
I love it.
And we spend probably 95% of our weekends, either a Saturday or Sunday, riding for one charity cause or another for veterans.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
We
awesome.
go out of we go out of the city, we stay within the city. Every legion usually sponsors a certain veteran suicide, homeless group, food bank. In each of their charity runs, the money is all turned over to that charity at the end of the run, as far as registration fees, 50-50 raffles, basket raffles, silent auctions, anything that we can do to pay back for those who fought for our freedom.
That's amazing. I love that. That is so awesome. Well, next time I'm in Florida, I'm going to have to go to one of these rallies, these
Yes.
rides.
Oh,
Dr.
we can
J,
make that happen.
we need a bike. We need a bike. You can drive.
You
I'll
don't
be the.
have a right to be a writer. You can
That's true.
you choose to be a what they consider an American Legion rider is also, or a supporter. You are allowed to come on any ride as long as you pay the registration fees. and you can ride in your car behind the chase vehicle.
Trust and believe. We'll find somebody. You can sit on the back of a bike. It's not an
Sit on the
issue.
back of the bike, but you don't have to be on a motorcycle to be an American Legion rider. You don't have to miss out on the cause just because you're riding in a vehicle. I broke my foot last year. At least on the ground.
That's another story.
I still got on the motorcycle in an ace wrap and crutches and rode that ride with a broken foot. Because
Wow.
Yeah, Erin's a beast. That's why she was chosen for the news. Trust and
She's a
believe.
badass.
Yeah, she
Man.
is.
Well, I'm going to
Oh,
ask a
okay.
question, and if you don't want to answer it, then you don't have to. But
That's fine.
as a wife of a veteran, and somebody who has attempted suicide a couple times, what is that like for you?
It's gut wrenching. It's hard enough seeing the person that you love hurt and know that they're hurting and you can't take that pain away. It's at the same time also teaches you how strong you actually can be for somebody else as well as yourself, regardless of what you're going through. You become that person's strength because you've been there to have them lean on you, even though they may feel alone. They know they're not alone.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
definitely, if you need help, I know that Dr. J can help too, because I know um,
Oh, I'm
you can't.
telling you the bit. Trust and believe. I got to get through this podcast.
I get it. I'm just like I'm sure she's probably. I know if I know her, which I do, she's just like, oh, let's get you in there. But yeah, it's I'm a firm believer that anybody who is a supporter or who helps other people, no matter what capacity, but especially in this capacity, that they definitely need to be able to lean on other people as well, because you can't do it alone. Right. And it just like our veterans, and they need the camaraderie. And so do the spouses. I mean, it's funny because I've been involved in a couple nonprofits for veterans, and I'm like, okay, we need a spouse program. A spouse program is what we need, whether that be first responder, whether that be veteran, whether that be active duty, because there's no way in hell that you guys could go through this alone either.
no.
Yeah, and the American Legion has 4 programs. So the first one's the Legionnaires, which is obviously me, served active duty or reserve, like actually served. We are part of the American Legion. Then we have the American Legion Auxiliary, which is what Erin is. She's a spouse of someone who served. Then we have the Sons of the American Legion, which are the children of the Vietnam vets. And those children didn't serve, but they're honoring their parents who did serve. And then the American Legion Riders, which she's already explained.
Right.
Yes. And there is also what we have it called is a future riders program. My oldest daughter is 21. She is an American Legion rider with her boyfriend who um, is an Iraq and Afghanistan soldier that was in the Marines and has been discharged due to PTSD because an IED went up in front of him and he lost his best friend over in Iraq.
Wow.
So they ride with us for the cause. And even if they are not able to ride with us, they will still donate. But the future riders, my 9-year-old is a rider. It just means that they are part of the American Legion. She is a full auxiliary member. She is allowed to any event. She can come on rides with us in the car, and we can follow behind. And it's never too young to get them started because the younger generation, we are probably one of the youngest at our Legion, other than my daughter. The younger generation and the wives need to know that we are here. We are welcoming. We do tons of kids' charities. We do a ton of kids' projects, Easter, Christmas. But the more wives of actively deployed members that we can get involved with their children, some legions do have playgrounds. We have one in St. Augustine that runs an after school program for free for parents who have to work and cannot afford after school care but can't afford to not work. And they run that completely free out of funding, out of charity. So it's never too young to start them. We have people with their grandchildren who can be junior riders, sons, stepdaughters, stepchildren are also considered family. It doesn't matter. Family is family, blood or not. So I encourage everybody who can get involved to be a part of it because it's something you won't regret.
I met some people who were like children of Vietnam vets who have passed, and they have documentation who become American Legion. You know, um, so that's pretty amazing. I didn't even know that was available. That's pretty cool.
Yes, so I am very proud of my father. My father is a Vietnam War vet. He spent 5 years in the Air Force and was basically told his entire unit was going to Vietnam. They had to pack their bags and throw in a plane for how many ever hours it took for them to get over there. And unfortunately, he was right on the line of where Agent Orange was being sprayed.
Oh my
Didn't
gosh.
know it at the time because where their orders said they were someplace different. And the VA couldn't even locate where they were stationed. It took them 3 years to find my dad's records.
Oh wow.
But he will turn 80 next month. And he doesn't talk about Vietnam, except for the fact that they were not welcomed home. They were spit on. They were not loved. They are. Because the American Legion is strongly pushing, actively honoring the Vietnam era people who have served and people who were part of that whole Vietnam era. They are finally getting the recognition that he deserved 60 years ago. And it's
Wow.
sad that it's taken this long for them to feel that they are accepted finally.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost too late for some of those vets to feel accepted.
Right.
I am lucky that my father is still alive. There's not many people that I know that can still say that.
That's true.
Because we
That
also
is true.
did honor flights. And I have not been able to go on one. But my goal is to get my father on one of our honor flights before I lose him.
That's a heck of a
Wow.
goal. That's awesome.
There is a huge waiting list. And it is for any disabled veteran of the Korean War, World War II, and the Vietnam War. And they take up to 55 of them in one day and fly to Washington, D.C., take them to every landmark, the Vietnam Wall, regardless of health condition. The more critical get to go first, and then turn around and fly back from Washington, D.C. the same day into Jacksonville Airport and all over the state of Florida, whichever honor flight is flying out from that location, so they can see those locations if they've never been there.
Well, I'm declaring that right now, Somebody is watching the show that has connections that can help us make that reality quicker.
I do have a person in the American Legion who is actually in charge of it.
Awesome.
So I am going to be getting him on the waiting list when I get back to Jacksonville, because she is part of one of our Jacksonville chapters, and Lena's amazing, and has been so supportive, and has been there for our family when we thought we were losing a family member who is the next police officer, and she sat there and held our hands as we both cried, thinking that my father-in-law was not going to make it. And he did, and he is doing very well. But that's the type of family we built here.
Wow. See, and that's what the American Legion's all about. They're those connections, that camaraderie, that, wrapping your arms around. I'm getting a huge picture of just wrapping the arms around our veterans and saying, you matter no matter where you served, what capacity you served. And I keep getting I have a friend that was Army, and he says, "You're more than just Mr. Jeffrey Knight." And so no matter what capacity you served, you're more than that title, and you deserve every ounce of recognition, for serving your country. And so now that I know about this honor flight thing, wow, we just went to a whole new level.
Yeah, it goes out twice a year. I know out of our Jacksonville airport, it goes out twice a year. But I do know that honor flights do fly out from other locations in Florida at other times during the year. I think everybody does 2 honor flights from the big major airports in Florida at least twice a year. And we show up as auxiliary members and legionnaires to see them off for their flight and line up as they stroll them down their wheelchairs with their sponsor to the ramps to get to the terminal with thank you signs and flowers and signs showing our support and thanking them for our freedom.
Right. Wow. That's powerful. That's giving me goosebumps just thinking of it.
Yeah.
Now, next time I'm in Florida, Jay, we're gonna have to go do this.
Okay. I just saw an American Legionnaire walk up to a homeless man who has been sitting there and waiting the entire time we've been out here. And she just gave him food and walked away. Like, how awesome is that?
That's amazing. That is totally amazing. I wonder if they do this in the Canadian Legion. I gotta figure this out.
Yeah, you need to check it out.
Because I grew up in the Canadian Legion. Of course, we went because Grandpa was there, and it was free beer. Well, not free beer, but it was cheap beer. And so now I gotta check it out. I gotta go visit my friends over in Kingsville branch. I think it's 188, and go have a conversation.
If you haven't figured it out yet, she's
Out.
at the end of it.
I've met people at Daytona Bike Week from Quebec.
Yeah.
American Legions. I've met people from Alaska American Legions at Daytona Bike Week. But we proudly wear our vests. Mm-hmm. Our 5th District Rider Director, who unfortunately could not do this ride with us this year because his stepdaughter will be getting married, is so amazing. He pumps us all up, and he is so supportive of our families, our needs. We don't let anybody go unhelped. If you're coming to us for help, we're not going to turn you away. You're always welcome. We don't discriminate. Your gender does not make a difference. Your sexual preference does not make a difference. Be who you are, and we accept you for who you are.
Love that.
So,
Love that.
We have some more riders that are popping in here. They're heading out. They're exhausted after their 19-hour day. So
Right.
I know. This lady wants to say hi.
hi.
Tell them who
Hi.
you are. Tell them
Oh,
who you are.
my name is Maria Rivera. I'm the director for the Riders here at Post 72.
Hi, Maria. You
Hi.
look like you've been out in the sunshine. I love it.
Yes, ma'am.
It's been raining and snowing here in Canada today, so
Um,
I love that it's nice out there. So you are sorry. So you're the head of this organization?
no,
That's
I am the
today?
director for the Riders in just in Mulberry at Post
Okay.
72.
And there's the husband that doesn't want to talk.
Hi.
He's got a Project Beverly shirt on too.
Yes,
Oh
we
wow.
all have those, but sometimes mine don't fit me, so I don't wear mine.
Yeah.
What made you decide to join these people?
What do I say for them?
She's insane. It's okay.
See, that's what you door. Hold the door. That's what you gotta pull the door. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
This is awesome. I love it.
This yes.
Me, what I do, because I had a friend, one of my kids' friend from high school, he committed suicide,
Oh
and he
wow.
left a daughter behind. So to me, this is really there.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he was getting help from the sergeant from when they went to school and stuff like that. He was still keeping in touch with him and stuff with Sergeant Elson, and he was talking to him, and he said everything was good. But then a week later, he was gone. So
Wow.
that
I'm
was
so
very, very hard.
sorry.
How old was
Right.
he?
How old Ben?
Probably 34,
Oh.
33, maybe. Because it's been, what, a couple of years almost, so
Yeah,
probably 32 when that happened.
yeah. He was the same age as my oldest kid, my daughter
Oh,
Cameron.
So,
oh
Yeah.
wow. That would have had to have hit hard.
Yeah, because we brought him in when the kids were in high school. They used to hang out. You know, he came to our family reunion. He would hang out with us, and he was one part of the family. It was just
Right.
hard.
And how long have you been doing this ride?
This ride's already been what 4 years?
I think it's our 5th or 6th year.
About fifth or sixth year.
Wow.
Since we've been
That
started.
Yes.
that's awesome. He doesn't want to be on camera, but he likes to talk.
What did I do?
Come in here. Talk to
I
us.
said, why don't you just come in here, babe?
Just a minute.
I know, right? And then you won't be able to shut him up, and then you'll be like, what did I do?
No, that's okay. We love people that talk to talk.
Eyes ain't that good.
You don't need to see.
Hello, sir.
Just communicate.
Just say hi.
That little picture right there.
Yes. Miss Dorothy.
Hi, Miss Dorothy. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself, sir?
I am doing good. You can call
And
me U-Turn. U-Turn is my road name because Amari is my name, but it's hard to say. So.
U-Turn and Maria. I love it. Well, at least it's not wrong way. My dad's nickname was wrong way. You don't want that kind of name on a bike ride, that's for sure.
Well,
Right.
you never know.
But yeah,
We go the wrong way.
So are you a legionnaire?
No, I am.
he's actually what he calls himself a nobody, but technically he's a somebody because if it wasn't for him, our daughter wouldn't be here. Yeah, because he's our daughter's
I'm
father.
not I'm not a member because I don't fit in anywhere.
They
You
don't.
fit in everywhere.
I never served. The only one that served was my daughter. My father or grandfathers, anything like that, nothing like that. So there's no way, no family for me to go into.
The
We're
only
working with the auxiliary to try to see if we can change the laws now that they allow men
Men.
to join the auxiliary.
Mhm.
But the way it's worded is that you have to be a spouse of a veteran, which that means my wife would have to be a veteran, which she's not. So that leaves me out. But yet, she's allowed to go in through our daughter, but I'm not. So we're trying to see if we can change that where I can go in auxiliary through my daughter. So we'll
Right.
find out this June. We're going to bring it up to convention and see if it gets voted in or not.
Well, being on the show, we're going to
But
make sure that that happens.
Yeah.
But regardless, no matter what the outcome is, I'm still gonna do. We've been with the Legion for over 10 years,
Right.
and we've been with these writers for a while. And everybody in the Legion and department and all them up there, they know me. So I'm still gonna do what I do. So
They still accept him, on
Right.
what he does, because even though he's not a member of the Legion, but he still does a lot. He does a lot more than some of the veterans here, or some of the riders here and stuff.
Right.
But he
Right.
does, because every time they need us, we try to be here as best as we can.
Right.
Yeah.
still do what I do.
Well, U-turn, I love that because I'm an ally. I've never served myself. I mean, I have people that have served in my family, but I'm right along there with you. I'm a nobody, but I'm a somebody to
There you go.
somebody. And
That's
and so
right.
that's by using our voice and saying, hey, wait a minute, we're here for the cause. And the cause today is Project Vet Relief, that is trying to raise $350,000 to help veterans who we lose 22 a day by suicide, and let's get that number down to zero.
Yeah.
Because we're losing way too many people that have fought for our country, and that shit's got to stop.
Yeah. And
Sure.
and he's been with me since we've been doing this, and he does it every unity ride with me, and we've been there no matter what. We're still doing here. We are here because we know we're trying to stop this, and that's one of our biggest things.
Right. Now, did you say your daughter serves in the military?
Yes, she started in the Army.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And how long did she serve for?
She was 4 years on. She 4 years reserve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, tell her thank you for her service.
Yes, ma'am. I will. Thank
All right, we're gonna let them go because they're exhausted. If you can't
All
tell
right.
from Maria's lovely face,
I can.
she's the only one with sunglass tan,
Yes.
which is hilarious because they all wear sunglasses and bandanas.
Right.
We're gonna let them go because your turn's ready to fall asleep.
All right.
Thank you
Well,
guys.
nice meeting you,
Nice
U-turn
talking
and
to you.
Maria.
Take care.
Bye.
You
Bye.
too.
And we
Bye.
have had one more person arrive at our podcast. Yes, honey.
All right.
You're
Aw,
awesome. I'll see you
I-
soon. I will. Yes.
You guys
So-
tomorrow morning.
This is Mr. Martin.
Hello,
There's
sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Well, I don't know if I would say pleasure, but
It's just too hard with this little camera.
So our number is quoted at 22 a day. Unfortunately, that's only considered for active duty members.
right.
They have not calculated the daily rate of veterans lost to suicide after discharge. So the 22 a day is probably a good 50% higher than 22 a day.
right.
There's probably a 50 to 60 a day that we are losing because they get to a point where they don't feel that they can win their battle. And we need to stop it.
100%. I did a 24-hour fundraiser two years ago, and back
Yeah.
then I did some statistics, and with veterans and civilians, it's 163 a day were dying by or dying by suicide. That's with civilians as well, and I'm sure the number has probably gone up after COVID because COVID, well, that's a whole other.
Yeah.
It's a whole other subject, and people are not meant to be isolated, and so I have no doubt that you're right, Aaron, that the numbers are even higher
Yeah.
than that. Seriously, I don't think anybody is going to want to keep track of that number, right?
We don't want to, but we need to because we need to make sure that number goes down. We need to get
100%.
that number down to zero per day. We want all of them to stay with us as long as they are supposed to be.
Mhm.
We don't want them leaving early.
100%. And the best person to help anybody that's in that situation that feels like this should be it, is the lady that you're sitting right next to. Dr. J is one of the best therapists that I have ever had the privilege of meeting. This woman, between her and her staff, does not stop. I mean, I was there, and she gets phone calls and text messages all night long, and she
Well,
will.
who needs sleep? I mean, come on.
That's overrated.
So if anybody's watching this right now and they're thinking, this is it, you can't stand it anymore, reach out to us. We'll get you in touch with some Promotus. And there's other organizations out there too that we can help too, but I highly recommend some Promotus first. So yeah. And isn't it what's that number? Is it 888? 988. Thank you. 988. That's in Canada too, by the way. It's the same number, both Canada and the United States. They finally got their shit together and got on board. Yay.
Finally.
Yay,
Canada.
Well, whatever. You can blame us. That's fine. I got broad shoulders.
I love terrorizing her for living over there. It's just because I want you here, Dorothy. That's it. I'm selfish.
I
You got some
know.
good hockey.
We do. Well, and if they ever
play all year long.
We don't have that problem here. We can ride all year long here.
I would say kiss my ass, but
But being in Florida gives us the opportunity to ride longer than most states can, which means we can help more charities because we can run 365 days a year. We have rode in hail, we have rode in rain, we have rode in hurricanes, we have rode in brutal sun coming down on us all day.
Like today.
And today was nothing compared to last year because it was 4 weeks later in the month last year than it was this year.
Well, how about hurricanes? Because you guys are famous for hurricanes, and you're famous for what else?
Florida man.
He's got one of our strategic providers patches on right there.
Oh.
Look at that.
Maggie.
Wow.
Yes. So last week we did the episode with Maggie, and he
She did?
has. Oh yeah,
We love Maggie.
yeah. Maggie's
We love
amazing.
Gunther.
Gunther's is now retired. I don't think I have mine on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Strategic partners right there.
Yep.
There
That's
we go.
my father.
Oh wow. See, I love these patches.
Ah.
There's Unity.
Yes, this is our district.
Amazing.
And then
She's got all kinds of stuff. I was hoping she'd do this. And then the ribbons. Look at the ribbons.
Oh my gosh.
so
So what are the ribbons for?
Mia and my sister.
Can you see that?
Lupus warriors. I lost my sister 22 years ago to lupus while I was pregnant with my twins.
Oh wow.
So I wear that for me and her because we both unfortunately suffer from the same disease. My 9-year-old is autistic. So that is in support of her.
Okay.
The green is for mental health awareness.
Okay.
Is also for DMDD, which is disruptive
Mood.
Behavior-
Dysregulation.
behavioral dysregulation disorder. So I wear that for my daughter. I wear the red and purple one, not red, or
Purple.
blue and purple. Sorry, it's been a long day. For veteran suicide.
Right.
My children and myself are all ADHD. And we
Yay! Welcome to the club.
and when we support the breast cancer awareness,
Right.
we ride in Jacksonville.
We're supposed to do a Donna Deegan.
We were supposed to do a Donna Deegan ride with Jacksonville. So she is a news anchor there that is a breast cancer survivor. Well, she's the mayor now of the city, but she is a breast cancer survivor, and she invited us to the news station to do a ride, and unfortunately, that got canceled last year
Because of the hurricane.
because of the hurricane. So we are still waiting to redo that.
This is my favorite one right there.
The damn
You
weather.
can't fix stupid. That's my
We-
favorite
we
one
need a-
right there.
We need a
But-
ribbon for menopause. I'm just saying.
Red,
Oh yeah.
red shirt Friday.
Yeah. She's
Yep.
got one of those. Remember, everyone deployed.
Yep.
Yep.
And then the D5R.
That's our district. That means that we have been to every single district in our every single post in our district.
And then this beautiful one right there.
And then we very proudly represent Chapter 9 in Jacksonville. We lost a very close rider friend who was a son on Labor Day weekend last year in a motorcycle accident. The husband was killed and the wife survived. And he was at this rally last year. And unfortunately, he will not be here this year. This is my sister that I lost when I was pregnant.
Never mind. This one trumps. F around and find out, baby.
And he matches. He's got one too.
I love it.
I love it.
Here's the Unity ride. So 2023, 2024.
And
Yeah. He's got
I need
one
some
too.
patches.
Look
But
at these.
this,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh,
I
wow,
love
love it.
And then this shout out to Miss Maggie right here. Hopefully she's watching.
Hopefully.
So like father, like son, my uncle's biker buddy.
And I lost my father, but
we lost his father, who was also an Air Force
Motorcycle
veteran.
Oh wow.
so I never
Wow.
got to ride with my dad.
Oh, we got bike week going on. That's beautiful. And then all of the
He's
ribbon.
just missing the green one. Yep.
Yeah.
And our friends, our D5. That's our boots on the ground that we participate in every year.
Right.
Now that we're post
Prisoners of war. That's a terrible idea. When do we start? That's a really good one.
I
Yeah.
love it.
And that
In my defense, I was left unsupervised. Truth.
is the reason why I wear.
love it.
The answer is no.
And before you ask, the answer is no. That's awesome. You guys, this is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh,
Those patches
Yes.
are very personal, and I
These
know
are-
everyone with a vest has patches that mean everything to them, and they're
Right.
very individualized. So
and our
it's really
vests
cool.
don't hold enough. That's the problem. Is that we have a bags.
You need fringe patches.
Well, we've actually
Put 'em
got
on your
people that
chaps.
we are starting to pin them on our wall.
Yeah.
We have a motorcycle room, technically. He created a very interesting setup with a set of motorcycle handlebars
Oh,
on
nice.
our wall
Very cool.
with the Coast Guard symbol above it, where our helmets hang and our vests hang in our bar area of our house. Because our vests are both full, we are now pinning them to the wall of the different places that we have gone, the charities we have ridden for. So unfortunately, as much as I would love to put them all over, I am running out of room.
I love
So
it.
we have considered getting second vests.
So this is the wall before, and now
Can
I
you
don't.
see that, Dorothy?
Not really.
Turn your phone the other way.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, yours don't rotate.
No, it says he's not rotating. Oh, that's a bike part.
No, that's
It's a technical difficulty.
I work on yachts, so but that's
Oh.
the wall, and I've already
Okay.
started putting stuff up and around. I just don't have an updated picture of it. But
Right.
it holds our vests, our helmets, and then we started putting our old patches that we've rotated off up and along the wall.
Very
Wow. Good job.
Well, I
Love
do
it.
have a question for you, and you can answer it or not. Just let me know if you're
Yes.
comfortable. After all that you've been through, because you are a survivor, like, where are you at now? How does this mission help you?
I finally, after my issues, the command at work up in New Haven, Connecticut, finally allowed me to go get support. I have I had records with my HS on base
Mhm.
dating back almost 6 months of me trying to get help, and medical command wouldn't let me do it.
Mhm.
I was a chief. You can't have issues.
Right.
So
I see a lot of
Wait.
chiefs. I know.
after I had my issue, I finally started being allowed to go get help. And then after I retired, I was medically retired after 20 years.
Mhm.
And I got up I was already in process with the VA to start getting help as soon as I transitioned out. I got that help. There was a couple snags in the road,
Mhm.
but they just built a new psychiatric and wing all the way up by the Jacksonville airport. So, and I work with them. I can sit in my truck at work during my breaks now and actually video chat with
Yeah.
them live, which
Yep.
is great.
I do the same.
And I've got a prescriber who
Mhm.
looks over all my meds, making sure nothing's overacting or stuff like that. And we actually just shifted a set of my meds because I've been on them so long. They're like, okay, we need to shift you to something else
Yeah.
to make sure.
Yeah, because
But-
your body will absorb it. Yeah. You know, it just, that's the challenge with medication is that our body does
Get so used
accommodate to
But-
that dosage.
The main thing was support.
Mhm.
My family network, my now wife, at the so that there was the biggest thing, and the biggest thing I will tell out there: you're not alone. Other people have been there, and just make a phone call. Make a phone call. I talk to my buddies all the time. I've met them 20 years ago, and they call me and they tell me, "Hey, yeah, I'm doing all right. I had an issue a couple weeks ago, but I'm doing." Call.
Buddy checks are crucial.
Buddy check. There's actually a website out there where you can sign up for
Yeah.
buddy check.
I
So
love it.
I got into that one a little bit, but my big one was taking care of my alcohol. So the command did force me after my issue to go
What
to
is the first
Alcohol
thing people do
Anonymous.
to self-medicate? It's easy access.
In my issue, I was 4 times the legal limit when I got, and my command found out through unnecessary channels that they're not supposed to use.
Mhm.
So I got lucky because that prevented me from getting a DUI and being discharged at 21 years.
Right.
But going to AA, not just for the alcohol, but the camaraderie with them as well, because some people just go from AA, because that's what they need. They need that involvement. They need to be able to talk to
The
somebody.
connection.
And you go in there your first day, you'll end up getting paperwork and stuff, and everybody's putting their phone numbers in there like, hey, I'm having a problem. And you make really, really good connections there. And one of the biggest things that has helped me be more stress free is knowing what I can and cannot control,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing how to control what I can.
Right.
But if I can't control it, I got to let it go. I can't just sit there and fester on it, because then that's where the alcohol and the stress, which then leads to my stroke, depression, anxiety. Being able to just roll things off my back.
Yep.
Like, hey, I can't control this. What can I control?
Yep.
And that there was probably the biggest thing for me.
Because your brain is trying to find a solution to a problem that you don't know.
But that is hammered into us
Mhm.
from boot camp on.
Right.
You have to know how to handle it. You have to know. That's why they say the chief couldn't be in trouble. He's a chief.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the stigma comes from.
Wow, I'm so glad you're still here. I'm
So am
really,
I.
and
While I'm still here, I will be doing anything and everything I can to assist.
Yep.
And I, just to put it out there, I belong to a veterans organization that meets Fridays at noon. It's called Angels 14. Amazing guys. They're anywhere from Army to Marines to allies. I'm an ally. And we get together, we shoot the shit. We're there for each other 100%. I've had them buddy check on me just as much as I've buddy checked on them. Because as a civilian, well, we have problems too, and so, and some of us have more than others, myself, if I'm saying that about too. And it's 100% a place where you could go, be who you are, no judgment. So if you guys want the information for that, just let me know and I will get you the Zoom link for that. We meet Fridays at noon, and I'm telling you, they're the best people on the planet. Dr. J's been in there too.
Yep.
And so it's like, seriously, you want camaraderie, this is the place for it. It feels like you're back in the Briggs, like, I swear. And I've never been in the Briggs, and I feel like I'm there every week when I'm there. So definitely, if you want that information, I'd be more than happy. Your wife can join too. Everybody can join. You know, we are there for each other, and it's just about the camaraderie and lifting each other up. So if you're interested, Dr. J, get their information before you leave, and I will send you that information.
There already. That's handled. Any last questions for them? They want to get to the hotel. They're exhausted. So
I know they look exhausted.
I think they look amazing, but they do look tired.
Yes, I imagine riding all that day. I just want to say thank you both for coming on here and just sharing your heart and your soul and your passion for what you do. Thank you for your service, both of you. And just keep fighting the good fight. And anything you need, let us know, and we'll do the best that we can to support that, or at least know people that could, be in your corner if we can't help you with that. And if you're just tuning in now, the project that this is the American Unity Ride for Project Vet Relief. It's flashing across the bottom there, projectvetrelief.org. They're trying to raise $350,000 so that they can help support veterans. We are losing way too many by suicide, and we need to help these men and women that have served. So,
yeah, there's a like the Project Art Relief. The reason this strategic partners exist is because we are part of the Suicide Prevention Initiative. And all of us have collectively worked together to serve every single veteran. If a veteran comes to me or their family members and they're struggling, but they love horses, I will send their happy asses out to Eric and they can shoot off the back of one. Like, that's not a problem. Or I send them to Canine Line to get a service dog, or just, we work so well together to serve that person, because I believe it's about each person saving one life at a time.
Amen.
It is. And I work as a medical assistant, but I do work in psychiatry and I work in psychology. So, on top of making sure that my own family is okay, I make sure that our veterans' families that we see are also okay. And to know that their confidentiality completely remains confidential unless that veteran chooses to want to let that family member in. We are only Florida based currently. We're Elite DNA. We do telehealth and in person services. We are connected with the VA. We see our veterans. We take TRICARE. We can get our veterans in within a week's time. I get approached at my Legion because they know that I am a resource, and they will confide in me that they need an appointment. I will go in the next day, look at my schedule, and let them know I can see you today, I can see you Thursday, I can see you Friday. When can you come in? And I've already gotten one of our guys in within a week and already on treatment.
Right.
And it's amazing. It's amazing seeing them be able to turn their life around because they got help so quickly and did not have to wait on the VA.
Great. Oh, wow. I love that. And one more thing, if anybody has connections to the honor flight, let us know so that we can get Erin and her dad up there.
Well, Lena Hernandez is part of our 5th district, and she is actually the one who is in charge of the Jacksonville honor flight. And she is an amazing woman and does so much for our veterans. She is actually a veteran herself, as well as her spouse, and they are riders with us. But because they do so much for the American Legion and district and state levels, they are unable to make the ride with us this year. They did join us for one day last year. But if it is something that anybody is interested in, they can look up the American Legion honor flights, get in close with their closest contacts, and get on the list and fill out the application. And I think it's a $450 fee for yourself as a sponsor, along with the veteran that you want to sponsor for the day to go to Washington. And some people have never been there. I've been fortunate enough to be there, and I've seen the Vietnam Wall. My father has too, but my father now has dementia and does not remember it. So it would be awesome to do it one more time.
Well, I have no doubt that you'll get to do that.
And so
He needs hyperbaric. Let's work on that.
Yes.
we love our veterans, and
Yes, we do.
you know, everybody's family. There's no strangers.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both so much for joining us tonight.
Thank
Huge love to both of you. And like I said, if you want to join us Fridays, let us know. We'll get you that information. And we appreciate you so much for sharing your
I'll
story
hug him
tonight.
for you, Dorothy.
Yes, please. I want
will.
to.
I will. I got
All
you.
right. Perfect. All right. Any last words, Dr. J?
Be safe. Be kind to one another. You see somebody struggling, get them where they need to be. Don't ignore it. Don't feel weird. And there's no shame in the game of life here. If you're feeling some kind of way or you can't because you're a chief, like, look, I got your six. So do millions of other people. Like, we are here. We've walked through the mud and felt like we weren't going to survive. And yet here we are. Some of us are surviving, some of us are thriving, but we're working every day to wake up every day.
I never feel guilty about it.
You know?
100%. And my request, guys, is if you could go to Unstoppable Overcomers on YouTube, subscribe, share this channel with your friends so that
Yes.
people can see this story, so that this could be, that we talk about these things. So this is the norm, to talk about it instead of hiding it and then thinking, well, no one understands, no one cares. We all care. We're bringing hope to the hopeless, and that's why we started this channel, just to do that. So go to YouTube, Unstoppable Overcomer, subscribe, share with your network. We have stories on there. We have over 700 videos and interviews talking with different men and women that have overcome from life, business, and service. And so we really need your support on getting the word out so that we can help more people. So if you could do that.
Veterans, write a check.
Yes. Yeah.
Go to a good cause. Trust and
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah. Go to projectvetrelief.org. Donate today. And with that, thanks to everybody. And we'll see you same time, same channel next week.
Thank
Bye
you for
for now.
having us.
Absolutely. Our pleasure.